When a teen commits suicide, everyone is affected. Family members, friends, teammates, neighbors, and sometimes even those who didn't know the teen, or might experience feelings of grief, confusion, and guilt. One of the leading causes of death amongst teenagers is suicide. Today, I've asked students in my class on their thoughts of suicide.
What does the word suicide mean to you?
Suicide, it means to be taking somebody's life. You take your own life. It's basically a murder against yourself.
What are your thoughts on teen suicide specifically?
Teen suicide is I don't really think it's appropriate, because how can you take your life at such a young, and there's no reason to it. You're young and you should live while you're young. There's no reason.
Like, most kids commit suicide because they're like bullying in school.
Do you think any situation is bad enough to end your life?
No, and that is because there is always something to be happy about and look forward to, and yes, suicide
What
is not...
thoughts do you think go through a teen's head before they commit suicide?
If anything, nothing at all.
Nothing?
Nothing at all.
What are your thoughts on teen suicide?
I believe that teen suicide is absolutely horrible. Because, I mean, as a teenager, we all have our problems, and we take them worse than we really should when you're a teenager. But it's like, you're so young, we still have our lives ahead of us. Like, we're going to go through so many things in our lifetime, and each time we go through those, every obstacle makes us stronger. So I feel that if we can get through them, then it helps us be the people.
Everything that they're leaving, their parents, their friends, all their hopes and dreams that they have wished for, and it's a really hard decision to choose, and to really think it through and be there, it's probably the most intense thought.
So what are your thoughts on teen suicide specifically?
I think the only reason on teen suicide is that we're not, like, completely grown up yet. We're still mentally growing.
Suicide among teens often occurs following a stressful event, such as failure at school, a breakup with a boyfriend or girlfriend, death of a loved one, a divorce, a major family conflict, sports, anything. A teen who is thinking about suicide might talk about suicide or death in general, talk about going away, talk about feeling hopeless or feeling guilty, pull away from family or friends, lose the desire to take part in favorite things or activities, having trouble concentrating or thinking clearly, experience changes in eating or sleeping habits, or self-destructive behavior, such as drinking alcohol, taking drugs, or driving too fast. For example, in Romeo and Juliet, however, there were no warning signs to their suicide at all.
Do you think there's a difference between the way teen girls and boys commit suicide?
Yeah, I believe so. There's different reasons. I think for a girl it's worse because they're more sentimental, they weren't caring about it. Guys are just like, guys don't have too much of a feeling to them. But yes, I do believe that there is a difference between guy and girl suicide.
Do you think some of the reasons may be love, like in Romeo and Juliet?
I believe so, like rejection and people don't always get the person who they want, the person who they don't love. There's a whole bunch of different varieties of why you would commit suicide.
What would you do if your girlfriend committed suicide?
Very sad and depressed.
Would it be a long period of time, or would you get over it quickly?
A long period of time. Probably for the rest of my life.
What would you do if your boyfriend committed suicide?
I'd probably be, like, really upset and lock myself in my room and be, like, depressed.
What are your thoughts in general of teen suicide?
Kind of ridiculous, because you're only teenagers, you have one life, so you might as well live it.
Suicide is really wrong. There's no legitimate reason for death in general, and no one should kill themselves, teen, adult, child, and there's going to be like pressures as teens, but you have to just deal with it, and you can't look towards the easy way out, like death.
Do you think any situation is bad enough to end your life?
No, I don't think so. Because, I mean, there's so many people to talk to. You have your family, you have your friends. There's a lot of counselors and stuff.
Suicide rates differ between boys and girls. Girls think about the attempt suicide about twice as often as boys and tend to attempt suicide by overdosing on drugs or cutting themselves. Yet boys die by suicide about 4 times as often as girls, perhaps because they tend to use more lethal weapons, such as firearms, hanging, or jumping from heights.
Girl versus boy suicide. What do you think is more known, and why?
I think girl suicides are more known because I think that girls are more in touch with their emotions than guys particularly are. So I think that girls have more of a chance of being noticed for suicide.
They seem more to themselves. They usually don't socialize well with people. And can usually tell currently by just like the way their body chemistry is with other people that something's up. Anyone close to them would probably realize it quicker than some random Joe off the street.
If you felt that your friend was about to commit suicide or someone you cared about, what would you do to try and stop them?
I would talk to them in person, because talking to someone over a phone or something, that's stupid. It's like a whole other realm of life. It's better, things are always better when you do it in person. So let's say someone has suicide problems, you would probably want to talk to them in person, because it's stronger, the actions of a human are stronger than what you say. So just as long as you're there for someone, it will signify to them that they're wanted.
Steps parents can take. Keep medications and firearms away from children. Get your child help. Support your child. Become informed.
Steps teen can take. Take your friend's behavior and discussion of suicide seriously. Encourage your friend to seek professional help, accompany if necessary. Talk to an adult you trust. Don't be alone in helping your friend.
And I think that you forget that there's somebody out there always thinking about you. And I think you need to realize how many people out there love you. I think suicide is very selfish and it's very thoughtless and people are very...
My thoughts of suicide's a very serious thing that happens in a person's life, and I think it's a very bad thing for other people to do.
What thoughts do you think go through a teenager's head before they commit suicide?
Their thoughts would be like them feeling left out or feeling worthless in their life. Those are
very desperate act that people usually commit suicide or push to the very edge. They usually go on.
I hate myself, I hate my life, I don't want to live no more, I can't take the pain, and...
Suicide? I think it happens more often. Well, it's something everybody's thought of before, like every teen probably, because it's the time where, we're going over a lot of change.
It's really sad, because, it's more often now than it was back then, because there's all this stuff going on, and, when it comes to suicide, a lot of people don't know what they're really doing. They think it's just to, relieve their pain, but they don't realize how much pain they're giving to others, too. And, I apologize. And, there's a lot more factors to suicide now. It's more often in older people, because they're all... But a lot of young, it's really sad because a lot of younger kids are doing it too, because school stuff, their boyfriend broke up with them and they're lonely and they're getting upset.
So do you think Romeo and Juliet, they should have committed suicide for each other?
To an extent, because they had so many obstacles in the way, and their families don't like each other, and they had this whole convoluted plot, and it could have gotten better, but seeing how in their case nothing was working for them, suicide was the only way to be together in a sense.
Bad, and people shouldn't do it because they should love their life.
Third, where suicide ranks among the leading causes of death for young people ages 15 to 24. Fourth, where suicide ranks among the leading causes of death for young people ages 10 to 14. 5,000, the number of young people ages 15 to 24 who commit suicide each year. 100 minutes. Every 100 minutes, another teenager will commit suicide. 80, the percentage of people who talk about suicide before taking action. 60, the percentage of high school students who said they have thought about killing themselves according to a recent survey of high school students. If you yourself have had thoughts of suicide or you think someone else may be thinking about suicide, call for help. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-TALK. Remember, you're not alone, and there's always someone out there to help you.
But I'll keep walking on the rain. It's a long way to happiness. Someday I'll be home.